Here's something nobody warned me about when I started my healing journey. I thought awakening would make me calmer, more loving, more peaceful. But instead, I felt angry, like really, really angry. And for a long time, I thought that meant something was wrong with me. But what I've learned is this. Anger is often what shows up when suppression ends. Not because you're becoming cruel, but because your body is finally allowed to tell the truth. And if nobody ever taught you how to feel anger safely, it could come out sideways. That's what I want to talk about, the uncomfortable part of anger. Not anger itself, but where it comes from. Because anger doesn't just appear when people wake up. It comes from years of suppression. A lot of us were taught explicitly or implicitly that being good meant being quiet, that being spiritual meant being detached, that wanting too much, feeling too much, or questioning too much was dangerous. So we learned to override ourselves, to override our feelings, to override what felt right. We learned to swallow our anger. We learned to tense instead of speak. We learned to call endurance virtue. And I didn't realize how deep that went for me until it stopped working. Here's the part I don't hear people say out loud. When anger has been shoved down long enough, it doesn't come back politely. It comes back feral. That's what it felt like inside of my body. Not evil, not violent, just uncontained rage. Like a nervous system that had been locked in a cage for decades and suddenly realized the door was open all along. And instead of feeling empowered, I felt ashamed because nobody teaches you how to hold anger with care. They just teach you how to suppress it. So when it finally surfaced, I didn't trust myself with it. I was afraid of being seen, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of hurting people, afraid of confirming every story I was told about anger being bad. That shame kept me frozen. And the irony is, suppression doesn't create peace. It creates pressure because the body keeps the score even when belief systems tell it not to. When people wake up, the anger that surfaces isn't new, it's old. It's a backlog. Every time you stayed small to stay safe, every time injustice was explained away, every time your gut knew something was wrong and you told yourself to be quiet, anger is the result. Anger is what shows up when the body finally says, enough is enough. The problem is, if no one ever taught you how to feel anger without acting it out, it turns into reactivity. And reactivity feels like truth because it's charged. But charge without regulation just recreates the same harm, just in a different direction. This is where belief systems matter. Any system that teaches people to bypass their body in the name of goodness creates suppression. Any system that teaches self-denial without discernment creates shame. And shame is not a stabilizer. It's a pressure cooker. Awakening isn't about becoming softer overnight. It's about learning how to be honest with becoming destructive. And that takes regulation. It takes practice. It takes learning how to stay with anger long enough to listen to it without letting it drive. Because anger isn't the destination. It's a signal. And when it's held with care, it turns into clarity instead of collateral damage. Now, let me reframe feral for you. Here's the part I want you to hear slowly. You're not feral because something is wrong with you. You're feral because your nervous system adapted to survive. Anger was never given a safe channel. Restraint was mistaken for maturity. Suppression was mistaken for virtue. That is not a character flaw. That is an adaptive response finally unwinding. Shame is the residue of being told your truth was dangerous. The work now is not control. It's containment with compassion. And there is a big difference.